Man, let me tell you something, respect ain't just handed to you now. I learned that the hard way. I've been in rooms where nobody looked my way, where my voice didn't carry weight, where I felt invisible. I've had folks talk over me, doubt me, laugh behind my back, and I'll be honest with you. It used to eat me alive. I thought, what's wrong with me? Why won't they take me seriously? But here's the truth nobody tells you when you're coming up. People don't just give you respect because you want it. You got to earn it. And that takes more than a fancy suit, a smooth talk, or trying to act like somebody you're not. I had to grind through some real messy seasons to figure this out. I'm talking about showing up broke, but still standing tall, getting doors slammed in my face, but still knocking on the next one, swallowing my pride when I wanted to snap back. That's when I realized respect is built in the quiet moments when nobody's clapping for you. It's built when you choose character over ego, when you show discipline over impulse, when you treat the lowest man in the room like he's the most important. So today, I'm about to let you in on something. Not theories, not textbook stuff. Real, raw lessons from the trenches. 5 secrets from psychology that'll make people not just notice you, but respect you. And I'm telling you, once you understand this, you'll never have to chase respect again. It'll follow you. You ever notice how some people walk into a room and immediately everybody turns to look at them? They don't even say a word yet, but you can feel their presence. Now, that's confidence. But here's the thing. Confidence is not the same as arrogance. Arrogance will turn people off before you even open your mouth. Confidence, though, real confidence pulls people in. It makes them curious about you. It makes them listen when you talk. And the crazy part is, it's not about being the loudest or the flashiest person in the room. It's about the energy you carry. See, I used to get this all wrong. When I first started trying to prove myself, I thought I had to show off everything I knew, talk louder than everybody else, always be the one with the right answer. I thought that was how you got noticed. But what I didn't realize was I was just pushing people away. Nobody likes feeling like you're trying to outshine them on purpose. People can smell that insecurity a mile away. Arrogance is just insecurity dressed up in a nice suit. You're overcompensating for what you don't feel inside. Confidence, on the other hand, comes from a deeper place. It's quiet, but powerful. It's knowing your worth without having to announce it every 5 seconds. It's walking into that meeting, into that classroom, into that interview, and not thinking, I hope they like me, but instead thinking, I hope I can bring value here. That little shift, it changes everything. I'll tell you something. People respect confidence because it's steady. It's not a mask you put on and take off depending on who's around. It's a reflection of how you see yourself. And when you truly believe you belong somewhere, you act different. You don't have to prove yourself every moment. You don't have to rush to defend yourself when someone questions you. You don't have to flex to get approval. You can just be. And that calm, grounded energy, people feel it. They trust it. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, all right, but how do I get that kind of confidence? Let me be real with you. It doesn't happen overnight. You can't fake it forever because people will eventually see through it. Real confidence is built the same way muscle is built, in the gym, through consistent work, through small wins that add up over time. You start by keeping the promises you make to yourself. If you say you're going to wake up early and hit the gym, do it. If you say you're going to speak up in the next meeting, do it. Every time you follow through on your word, even in small ways, you're telling yourself, I can count on me. And that belief, that's the seed of confidence. Another thing, confidence doesn't mean you think you're better than everybody else. It's not about comparison. It's about security. You're secure enough to celebrate other people's wins without feeling threatened. You're secure enough to listen more than you talk. Because you know listening doesn't make you smaller, it makes you wiser. Arrogance says, I know everything. Confidence says, I'm always willing to learn. I remember a time early in my career when I was trying way too hard. I'd overtalk in every conversation, cut people off, rush to give my opinion like it was gospel truth. And you know what happened? The people I wanted to respect me started keeping their distance. They didn't challenge me. They didn't debate me. They just quietly stopped including me. And that's worse than someone arguing with you. That's them deciding you're not worth the energy. That was my wake-up call. So I had to humble myself and start studying people who carried real respect. And I noticed something. They weren't always the ones telling the funniest stories or dominating the conversation. They were the ones who seemed comfortable in their own skin. They could stand in a circle, listen, laugh, nod, and only speak when they really had something to add. And when they spoke, everybody listened, not because they shouted, but because their words had weight. That's when I realized confidence is about quality, not quantity. It's about presence, not performance. If you want people to respect you, they have to feel like you respect yourself first. That means taking care of how you look, yes, but also how you move, how you stand, how you carry your voice. It means owning your space without taking someone else's. It means being able to handle criticism without crumbling or lashing out. If someone gives you feedback, don't jump to defend yourself. Listen, think it through, decide if it's worth applying. That maturity, that's confidence in action. And let me tell you, confidence grows fastest when you stop chasing perfection. If you wait until you have everything figured out, until you're flawless, you'll be waiting forever. People respect someone who's still figuring it out, but shows up anyway. They respect someone who can laugh at themselves, who can admit they don't know everything, but still stands tall. That's the kind of person people want to follow, work with, and be around. Confidence without arrogance is like a magnet. It attracts the right kind of attention. It doesn't scream, "Look at me." It says, "I know who I am, and I know what I bring to the table." And when you start living from that place, you'll notice something. You won't have to demand respect anymore. It'll start coming to you naturally, because people can feel that your confidence isn't built on putting them down. It's built on lifting yourself up the right way. You ever talk to somebody and you can just tell they're not really listening to you. They're just waiting for their turn to speak. Their eyes might be on you, but their mind is somewhere else, cooking up their next line. Let me tell you something. That right there is one of the fastest ways to lose respect. People don't want to feel like they're talking to a wall. They want to feel heard, understood, valued. And that's where the power of listening comes in. Now, I'm not talking about just hearing words. Anybody can hear. I'm talking about listening. Real listening is active. It's leaning in. It's catching not just the words, but the tone, the pauses, the things they're not saying. When you do that, when you make somebody feel like their thoughts matter enough for you to give them your full attention, you're telling them you matter. And let me tell you, people respect the ones who make them feel that way. For a long time, I didn't get this. I thought being respected meant I had to be the one with the strongest opinion in the room, the one talking the most. I'd jump in the second there was a pause, thinking if I didn't speak up fast, I'd miss my chance. And yeah, sometimes people noticed me, but not in the way I wanted. What I didn't realize was that while I was so busy trying to be heard, I was missing the gold people were dropping right in front of me. And the funny thing is, when you don't listen, folks eventually stop talking to you. I remember this one conversation I had years ago. I was talking to a guy who'd been in the game way longer than me, someone I actually admired. He was sharing something deep, his struggles, his lessons. And in the middle of it, I cut him off to share my own similar story. I thought I was connecting with him, showing I understood. But the look on his face, I'll never forget it. He smiled politely, but after that, he wrapped the conversation up quick. Later, I realized I had basically told him, "What you're saying isn't as important as what I want to say." That was a turning point for me. See, people respect the ones who give them space to be themselves, to share without feeling rushed or judged. And the crazy thing, you learn so much more when you listen. You find out what people value, what they fear, what drives them. You hear the details that others miss. And when you respond, you can respond with something that actually hits home because you took the time to understand where they were coming from. Listening is also one of the best ways to avoid misunderstandings. So many conflicts come from people not really hearing each other. They jump to conclusions, react to what they think was said instead of what was actually said. But if you take a breath, if you actually process the words, you save yourself from a whole lot of unnecessary drama. And here's the part most folks don't realize: listening is a confidence move. Insecure people have to dominate every conversation to feel in control. Confident people, they can sit back, give others the floor, and know it doesn't make them any smaller. In fact, it makes them bigger in the eyes of others because it shows self-control and respect. It says, I'm secure enough in who I am that I don't need to be the center of attention every second. Now, if you want to really level up your listening game, you got to get comfortable with silence. Most people can't stand silence in a conversation. They rush to fill it. But sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is wait a few seconds after someone finishes talking. You'd be surprised how often they'll open up more, go deeper, because you didn't rush them along. That's when you get the real truth, the stuff they don't tell just anybody. And let me tell you, listening isn't just about words. It's about body language too. You can nod, keep eye contact, lean in slightly. That tells people, I'm with you, I'm following you. Even little things like putting your phone down, turning your body toward them, it matters. Distractions tell people they're not important. Focus tells them they are. I've seen people walk into rooms where they barely said a word, but by the end, everyone respected them. Why? Because they listened so well, they made everybody else feel like the smartest person in the room. And when you make people feel like that, they remember you. They trust you. They come back to you. That's influence. That's leadership. And here's something else. When you listen, you pick up on opportunities that other people miss. Maybe it's a detail in a client's story that points to a need they haven't even voiced yet. Maybe it's a hesitation in someone's tone that tells you they're unsure about a decision. If you're tuned in, you can step in at just the right moment with the right words. That's how you become valuable to people, not by talking more, but by hearing more. So yeah, the power of listening is real. It's not glamorous, it's not loud, but it's one of the most effective ways to earn respect. Because at the end of the day, people don't remember every brilliant thing you said, but they will always remember how you made them feel, and feeling heard. That's one of the greatest gifts you can give someone. One thing I've learned over the years is this: people watch you a lot more than they talk about it. They're paying attention when you walk in the room, when you walk out, when you think nobody's looking. And here's what they're looking for: consistency. Not perfection, not flash, not some big performance, just consistency. Being the same kind of person no matter where you are, who you're with, or what kind of day you're having. See, it's easy to act right when the spotlight's on you. Anybody can play the part when the boss is in the room or when the cameras are rolling. But who are you when the door's closed? Who are you when you're tired, stressed, or nobody's there to check you? That's where your real character shows. And the thing about respect, it grows out of trust. And trust is built when people know they can count on you to be the same person every time. I've seen people who were like chameleons. They'd change depending on who they were with. Around one group, they'd talk a certain way, laugh at certain jokes, act like they believed in certain things. Around another group, it was like a whole new personality. And sure, they might fit in for a while, but here's the problem. Word gets around. People start realizing, wait a minute, I don't really know who this person is. And when people don't know who you are, they can't fully respect you. Consistency in character means your values don't shift with the wind. It means if you say you stand for something, you live it out even when it's inconvenient. It's telling the truth even when a lie would be easier. It's showing kindness even when there's nothing in it for you. And that's not always easy. There have been plenty of times I've been tempted to cut corners, to do something just to get ahead in the moment. But I've learned every shortcut you take with your character has a cost. It might get you something fast, but it'll cost you respect in the long run. And here's the thing. People notice the little stuff. They notice if you treat the intern with the same respect you give the CEO. They notice if you keep your word on small promises, not just big ones. They notice if you show up on time, if you follow through, if you stay calm under pressure. Every one of those moments is like a brick in the wall of your reputation. And consistency is what holds that wall together. I remember a guy I worked with years ago. He wasn't the flashiest, he didn't make the biggest speeches, but everybody respected him. Why? Because he was solid. You knew exactly what you were going to get from him every single time. If he said he'd help you, he'd help you. If he said he'd be there at 8, he'd be there at 7:50. He treated everybody the same, whether they could help him or not. And over time, that quiet consistency gave him more influence than a lot of louder people in the room. Now, let's be real. Staying consistent doesn't mean you never grow or change. Growth is good. You're supposed to get better over time. But the core of who you are, your honesty, your kindness, your reliability, that shouldn't flip-flop. People should be able to say, I've known them for years, and I can still count on them for the same integrity I saw on day one. The challenge is, life will test that. You'll have moments where staying true to your values costs you opportunities. You might lose a deal because you refuse to lie. You might lose friends because you wouldn't gossip. You might stand alone in a room because you wouldn't compromise. But here's the thing. Those moments hurt in the short term, but they build something far more valuable in the long term. They build a reputation that can't be bought or faked. Consistency also makes you predictable in the best way. And I don't mean boring. I mean dependable. People don't have to wonder if you'll be moody today, or if you're going to change your story, or if you're going to stab them in the back when it's convenient. They know what they're getting with you. And that kind of security is rare these days, which is why it's respected so deeply. I'll be honest, there were times I struggled with this. I'd get around certain people and feel like I had to adjust, to fit in, maybe bend a little here or there to be liked. But the older I got, the more I realized if people only like you when you're bending your character, they don't really like you. They like the version you're pretending to be. And that's exhausting. You can't keep up an act forever without losing yourself. So now I make it simple. I try to show up as the same person whether I'm at a business meeting, a family barbecue, or talking to a stranger at the grocery store. I don't switch up my values to fit the crowd. And guess what? The people who stick around are the ones who respect me for me. The ones who don't, well, they were never really in my corner anyway. That's the beauty of consistency. It filters out the people who aren't meant to be in your life, and it strengthens the connection with the ones who are. Over time, that steady, unshakable character becomes your calling card. People know they can trust you, and trust is the foundation of every kind of respect worth having. Let me tell you something about mistakes. They're not optional. You're going to make them. I don't care how smart you are, how careful you are, how much experience you've got under your belt. You're human. You're going to trip. You're going to drop the ball. You're going to get it wrong sometimes. The real question isn't, will I make mistakes? It's, what am I going to do when I make them? And that's where respect gets won or lost. See, most people's first instinct when they mess up is to hide it, downplay it, or blame somebody else. They start coming up with excuses before they even take a breath. Oh, I only did that because so and so didn't give me the right info. Well, it's not really my fault because the situation wasn't fair. And you know what? People see right through that. You might think you're saving face, but really you're just showing them you can't be trusted to own your part. I've been there myself. I remember one time early on in my career, I made a decision without checking all the facts. It ended up costing the team time and money. And when it came to light, my first reaction was to try and explain it away, make it sound like it wasn't really my decision alone. But deep down, I knew it was. And the more I tried to dodge it, the more I could feel the respect in the room slipping. Eventually, I just had to take a deep breath, look everybody in the eye and say, this one's on me. I messed up, I'll fix it. It wasn't easy, but I'll tell you this, people's attitudes toward me shifted almost instantly. They didn't love the mistake, but they respected the honesty. That's the thing. Owning your mistakes doesn't make you look weak, it makes you look strong. It shows you're mature enough to take responsibility. It shows you're not afraid to be accountable. And it tells people that when you say something, you mean it because you're not out here trying to protect your image at all costs. Now, here's the catch. Owning your mistakes isn't just about saying, my bad, and moving on. It's about making it right. Anybody can throw out a quick sorry to get the heat off them, but that's not the same as taking responsibility. Responsibility is following through. It's saying, here's what I did wrong, here's what I'm going to do to fix it, and here's how I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen again. That's when people start to trust you more, not less. And I'll be honest, sometimes it's not even about fixing it perfectly, because some mistakes you can't fully undo. Sometimes the best you can do is learn, adjust, and prove through your actions that you've grown. But even that is better than